I have the honor of introducing Senator Ling Chang, who serves California Senate District 29. Now, think about this. Senator Chang is the only Asian American female to be elected to serve right now in the California state legislature. The only Asian American female. We have 120 elected officials at the state capitol, 80 state assembly members, and 40 state senators. And Senator Chang is the only Asian American female elected. She co-founded the Future Caucus when she was elected to serve in the California State Assembly, and Senator Chang and her staff have been working very diligently over the past several months during this ongoing pandemic. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Senator Ling Chang.
Thank you so much, Jackie. It's great to see you. And I also want to thank CC Yin because, APAPA wouldn't be in existence if it weren't for him. APAPA and I go way back, actually, to when I first ran for office in 2005. I've served on a panel with APAPA down in Southern California. So I was asked to talk about, how I got into politics. So I'm going to talk about that. And I really do want to speak to the women here today and talk about the importance of women getting involved. So first, there's an assumption that people in politics got there because they know somebody or they were handpicked. And I can tell you from experience, from my own personal experience, that that's not how it works. And there are a lot of challenges women face during this process. But ladies, I'm here to tell you, we do need you in elected office. So I fell into politics by accident at a young age. I was in my late 20s. Definitely wasn't my plan. I used to think, when I was younger, I used to think politics are necessary. Politicians are slimy and sleazy, which some are, obviously. But I was able to meet a lot of really good people, and that demonstrated to me that if you are in it for the right reasons, you can truly make a difference. So I ended up running against a 25-year incumbent on my water board. Won with 58% of the vote, served as president of the board the very next year, ran for city council after serving a full term on the water board, became mayor of the town I grew up in. I then ran for assembly, and it was a really tough seat to win. I won, and then here I am now in the Senate. I represent a very diverse district. It's about a third Caucasian, a third Asian, a third Latino, probably one of the most diverse in the state. But I will say, I've always believed in problem solving. And I challenge myself every step of the way. If I wasn't able to do something tangible to solve a problem, then there's no point in me being there. And also that stems from being in local government. It's not partisan. We are kind of in this space right now. In an era where everything seems to be so hyper-partisan, and I can tell you, just even a few years ago, it wasn't like that, when everyone is just trying to solve problems. So again, coming from local government, you're focused on just, figuring out solutions to issues. And that really carried over to the legislature for me. And I'll say this again, I've always been a bit annoyed at how partisan it got in the legislature sometimes, because it doesn't need to be that way. And I'll tell you, some of my best friends are from across the aisle. And I've always felt that it was incredibly important to find common ground in the policymaking process. In the assembly, I co-founded the Future Caucus, and it was comprised of younger, forward-thinking members of the legislature. And the idea was simply, put young people together who want to rise above partisan politics, and you will be amazed what can be done. And we did get creative. Back then, back in around 2014, 2016, the tech community started getting involved. So everyone knows about Uber and Lyft now, but as they were ascending in the market, I recognized their value. In my first term in state elected office, I authored and passed the first law to allow state employees to use Uber, Lyft, and Airbnb while traveling through the state. And it was used as a model for federal government. That the bill alone won't change the world, but it's a small example of how we need young minds in the halls of power. And my hope is to expand that kind of thinking within the legislature. In terms of women in politics, I believe I am currently the 45th woman elected in the Senate, in the California Senate. We do need a lot more women. So I will say to the men out there, you guys are doing great. There are so many great male leaders in elected office today, but we really need to support women running for office. In California, we are still underrepresented, and we do need to reflect California as a whole. But I'm also here to tell you it's not easy. There are double standards left and right. I mean, it's so hard. And my husband has witnessed all of this as I'm running for office, how differently they treated me versus him. And he is actually in elected office. We both ran at the same time. He for school board and I ran for water. But, you know, they pick at you, you know, your dress, your temperament. You know, sometimes they say toughness can be perceived as whiny, but toughness in men can be perceived as strong-headed. But I've always run against men, so so this year is no different. I want to tell women, look, just run. Don't wait for someone to ask you to do it. I've actually been asked to wait my turn, which is ridiculous because when I was running against other people, I had more experience than the other guys. But just stick to it, and you know, we do need you in office.